Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Mana, see kind of what's going on, of course. As we can tell, no real signs of slowing down, which is excellent news. So we're just going to go ahead and identify how much more potential we have here, of course, in this run and go from there. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. I have a trading community and academy where I teach people how to become better traders. I've been doing this for over 15 years as my day job presently. I can tell you it's a lot of fun, a lot of freedom, and it pays the bills and then some. So I hope that you can learn something here today, of course. That being said, looking at Mana, let's look at the obvious and work our way down, right? Because I did cover Mana recently here, and of course it was a little bit on the dip, right? It was trending down. It was trying to test this support level here, or correction resistance at the time, at $3.40. Well, the one-day candlestick closed above, so it's now considered a support. Normally, I'd be concerned with that based on Bitcoin's behavior, but even after Bitcoin jumped up and jumped down and then jumped back up again, we're looking just fine for Mana. For lack of better terms, it's done very, very well contrary to that. And that's a great sign. A lot of coins in the metaverse are essentially doing that, though. So key takeaway here is that metaverse is probably the current meta, for lack of better terms, and I think that we're going to be in good shape here to see this continue. Obviously, we want to identify a few things and see if we are exhausted, but for now, it's looking good. Let's go ahead and pay attention to a couple things. We're up over the 50-day simple moving average. I think I identified that already. So if the price were to retrace and come back down, somewhere in the range of $3 would be a decent dollar cost average target. Also, same with 320 as well. That support level held fairly decent considering how low Bitcoin receded in the last 24 hours. I mean, it went from 45,500 down to like 42,900. Almost a $3,000 swing, and then it right back up to 44. So again, good stuff there in that sense. Mana's looking great. The only thing I can see here that's a potential, I wouldn't say issue, but coming up closer to 70 on the RSI does appear to be a bit on the overextended side. Okay, so it's just kind of one of those things we got to face reality that this is a long push and it could essentially slow down soon. But technically speaking, we're at a 5 out of potential of 9 for this bullish momentous trend. In other words, if you look back here and you can kind of see what happened previously, we got a 1 all the way up through a 9, got a chance to reset, and then it comes back up to a 5. So at this point in time, we're looking to be in pretty decent shape because, with us at a 5 and this decent period of consolidation for about 3 or 4 days, it has enough gas left in the tank, for lack of better terms, to hit a 9 again, which again, depending on progression, etc., we should see 360 upwards to 380, possibly even the upper Fibonacci level here at about 411. So that very well could happen. So just bear in mind, I don't think Mana's done pumping just yet, but also keep in mind too, this has been 5 or 6 days of consistent growth, and Bitcoin's only grown 2 or 3 of those days, right? So, a couple of red days from Bitcoin, Mana is still pushing. That's a great sign. That's a good sign. But also understand too that could eventually come to an end. But here's a cool thing. You see these consolidation periods, like this is when Bitcoin was misbehaving completely. In fact, I want to give you perspective on what that looks like. This is what Bitcoin did, right? Comes up, comes down, right back up again. Now, Mana, on the other hand, comes up, kind of gives us a little U shape and shoots straight back up. Now, granted, Bitcoin did have a straight candle like this in on the 4-hour time frame. It's a very large candle. So it's not to say that is out of ordinary, but the fact that it didn't dip as low as likely expected is a very, very good sign. Okay, so again, that just kind of speaks loud and tells us, or speaks volumes, of course, to let us know that Mana is on the right track there, right? Above both moving averages, the 50-day simple moving average may work as a potential support level. We are treading right above 70 on the RSI. I don't particularly love this because it does imply that we're overextended. So what I'd love to see right now is the price kind of consolidate at this previous resistance at about 340 and effectively compose itself, right? Get a little bit of a foundation and then build on it, right? That would be ultimately the best thing for us. So again, good news is we're making higher highs, higher lows. Like it's just staying pretty darn consistent, and there's no reason for us to expect it to turn around, right? Now again, Bitcoin comes down to fill that CME gap in the next few weeks. We could very well see Mana take a dip. But on the same accord, it did very well today considering what nonsense we saw from Bitcoin in the first place, right? So that tells me a lot because a lot of other coins are struggling where Mana is not. And that's, again, something I think speaks volumes. Also bear in mind, we got a potential MACD convergence here as well. That's kind of telling us the bearish momentum for this little short time frame, the last 24 hours, has receded, and we should expect to see the price increase from here. right? So that's also another thing. Just keep in mind as well, this is a lot of volume in a short amount of time. That could come back. I wouldn't say come back and bite us, but if we shoot up too fast, too soon, then we could expect some type of retracement. Okay, we might see the price reject and resist out at 360. I would love to see, again, the price consolidate about 340 and kind of hang out right there. That'd be ultimately the best. Taking a look here at the 1 hour, let's go ahead and just quickly identify the cloud. So perfect, lagging spans up and free. We got these two lines are kind of intersecting, so to speak, but that happens a lot when they get the price to shoot up like this. So we should expect to see the baseline kind of break away from the conversion line, and the fact that we're above the the cloud itself. All good things here. So if you have a position open for mana, you want to leave it open, even if we see a slight pullback, because the likelihood of it continuing higher is still there, right? Until this lagging span intersects with the price action, we have no reason to close our position. So very good stuff there for mana. Let's see here. As far as what TD sequential in the 1 hour, we're at a 7. So we could likely see a pullback in the next couple of hours, which would be perfectly fine. If we see that pullback and it consolidates right here at about 340 in the support, I would expect for within about 12 hours roughly for the next push to be higher than 360 or to test 360, come back down and maybe consider pushing up again, right? Another, perhaps even just say a cup and handle type of pattern, even though we don't have a significantly pretty cup, right? It could just be a handle pattern, right? That happens quite a lot though when you have these kind of breakouts. So it's a nice little momentous trend. I really like everything I see here so far for mana, and ultimately I would say that I'm bullish on this. And better case scenario, if we were to kind of just consider its growth and just understand where it's at, right? Within how many trading days would that be? That's about, let's just say 2 weeks to be on the safe side. Within 2 weeks, it's up almost 100%, right? So to get that same type of growth from here, that could literally put us somewhere in the range of $5. Again, 2 more weeks, $5 from mana, that would make sense because that's a key level resistance that we see here that hasn't been broken yet, right? And I think that's what, $5.20. So 520 is the goal, you could say, and that's doable within the next couple of weeks. But the only way it will be doable is if we get 1 or 2 more days of consolidation, very similar to this little pattern here, to give it that next leg up. Because if it just continues to keep going up, you can expect it to come right back down, because those parabolic increases are not good. I don't care who else tells you that. It's funny, I was chatting with one of my community members, and he was talking about moon boy YouTubers, and just how funny it is that people talk about going to the moon so frequently. I can tell you that's nothing but garbage. Honestly, a good trader doesn't like those. Obviously, if you have profit targets in place and you take your profits and you have a trailing stop loss, none of that matters. That's all well and good. Parabolic increases are fine. But majority of people do not have multiple targets, which I teach in my trading academy, and they do not have a trailing stop loss, which is available typically through trading bots. And those bots are things we have fully automated in our community, and you can kind of learn and grow and understand how to create them yourself. We use Cornix, of course. It is a paid service, but I would recommend 3 Commons as a good option if you're kind of new. Try to start using a trailing stop loss at all times. And for the love of everything that's wonderful in trading, make sure you set multiple profit targets. Don't jump into mana hoping to hit the moon or whatever it is you're trying to hit without setting a target. Set multiple targets, no less than 3 per trade, okay? I hope that you can try to adapt and understand what I mean by that, because that's how we survive and thrive as a community, and that's how I've always done it personally ever since I've actually started to get better as a trader. Like my percent went from 50 to 80% as soon as I learned how to set profit targets. It's that simple. Anyways, I teach that in my community. Feel free to check that out in your own time. But I do thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you learned something. If so, comment below. If not, reach out to me direct and let's see what we can do to help you out. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.